Mr. Dricus Du Plessis, the mayor of Pretoria, so I'm told. Ready to make your return, man. How's that feel?
Yeah, man, absolutely awesome. It's been over 2 years now since I last fought. I think it was August of 2017. I fought in South Africa. So that firstly, and then of course my first ever fight in my hometown. It's gonna be insane. I can't wait for it. Like there's so many speculations, and even for myself, this fight didn't make that much sense in a career upping way, but I owe this to Brendan, I owe this to the fans, and I owe it to myself to have at least one fight here where I'm doing a massive main event. That meant the main, and I can't wait. I think it's going to be great.
Cool. You mentioned about your career in terms of a high prospect fight. I know that gets Brendan's knickers in a bit of a twist sometimes. Did the win over Soldier Boy galvanize you to say, okay, you've earned this fight now, or is it more based on how you want to approach your career from there?
No, 100%. Like for me, it's not a lot of guys. So some people may even see it as listen, Dricus speaking fights. I know I've had the craziest record. I fought the most guys. I fought guys with 4 times my fight experience. I fought the best. I fought like ever since I became a main card fighter. I've just been fighting the best guys, and I love that. Always when I fight guys not on that high level, it makes my level drop, and I don't like that. I want to fight a guy that's in there to bring the best out of me. Every single time I fight, I want to be a better fighter. And I think most definitely, no, I know for a fact that after Brendan won the fight, the series, it didn't make sense for me to fight him. I knew I was doing myself, my career, big damage, regardless of the outcome of the fight. It's a lose-lose for me, and I said give him the Soldier Boy fight. When they approached me with that, I said, listen, if he beats Soldier Boy, he's beaten a name. He's beaten somebody on the international stage. He's not the same Soldier Boy I fought, but he's beaten somebody with a massive name, and that gives him credibility, and he deserves a title shot. He stepped up to the occasion. Nobody gave him a chance in that fight, and he stepped up, so he deserves the shot 100%.
There's a lot of speculation about the return to EFC. I think you mentioned a few things about the speculation. Obviously, KSW and EFC are on different financial atmospheres, if we can say that. Taking a risky fight for yourself, we don't know what the finances are behind, but we assume it's a risk both financially and fighter style. So how do you justify that to yourself?
Like I said, financially, when I started this game, I knew, listen, this is my livelihood. I have to make money. I understand the fact that there's a rand-dollar exchange rate. You can't expect you can't expect everything from the UFC like that. But as long as it's fair towards me and in relation to what I deserve, I'm not a guy that is asking for 100 grand more than my last fight because I've been winning international titles. No, it's play the course you're on, and that's literally all it is. Like me and the EFC, we made it quite simple financial decision on this fight. That's also why the fight was postponed for quite a while. I said, listen, it's not ridiculous for me to ask this money, and they knew it. It was never a fact of, listen, we can't pay you that. It was a fact of, listen, we can't do it right now, but there will be time, and that was fine with me because I had KSW to fight at. And yes, financially, it's a difference, but that's not all. The only reason I'm doing the sport is finances. Not at all. This is such a food for my soul fight. This fight means everything to me, to fight in my hometown. This is what I've been working for the past 6 years that I've been a professional, to be in this moment, being in a hometown, headlining a massive card of the year, most likely the biggest card in the history of UFC, if you look at the seats available. And I'm just honored to be able to do that, and you can't really put a price on that.
When EFC initially announced that they'll be moving to Menlyn Main, I mean, you've seen that arena. It's by far the best arena we have for MMA, especially in South Africa. It's amazing. There's just a different vibe. Everything's new. The show always seems to be like up another level. So when they made that decision to host events in Pretoria, was that something that like changed straight away? You're like, okay, somewhere down the line, I need to get back to EFC to fight in front of my hometown?
100%. The first event they had there, I think my brother was on the card, and I was like so jealous of him because I was like, yes, this is so unfair. My brother fighting on this card in Pretoria, and it was a week or two before my fight against W. So it was bittersweet, if you will. And I knew I was going to fight in Pretoria at least once, and then the next KSW card came, and then the first fight with Brendan fell through, and there wasn't really anybody to fight at that stage at any level. And I knew the fight was going to happen. It was just a question of when and where. And the beginning of this year when they announced the schedule, I saw the last event of the year is in December, and I told KSW, I told everybody, I want to be on that card. I want to be on that card. We literally started negotiations with this fight long before it was either going to be Brendan or Soldier Boy, and long before the Fighter Series, we started negotiating this fight. I'm fighting the winner of that series, and it was back and forth and back and forth. And honestly, everybody thought in the fairy tale life that I was going to fight Soldier Boy. That was what was on everybody's mind. I'm 100% sure that's what EFC thought. I know that's what I thought, and that's what the fans really wanted. And Brendan came in, and at first it was a bit of a bummer. But after that fight, you can't deny the guy that he got people's attention. He got my attention. He deserved the shot. He deserves the shot. And only thing is, this is not a movie. Like, the happy endings it's not Rocky Balboa. He's not going to fight Apollo Creed and win the fight. It's just not how it's going to happen. There's levels to this game, and his talent got him into big trouble.
With that in mind, what do you make of Brendan Lazar as an MMA athlete in terms of an opponent for yourself?
I think it brings a whole different dynamic to the fight. He's technically not sound, like he's not the most technical guy. He's a gritty fighter. He likes to brawl. He's very raw. If you see it that way, like he has some all-around game. He has decent wrestling, he has decent grappling, his stand-up's not decent, but he has a hard enough punch, he has an overhand, and he's tough, and that's all it's about. He has a gas tank for about 1.5, 2 rounds, and he pushes the pace, and everybody knows that's the way I fight, and that's something I'm looking forward to. Not somebody that's going to try and trick me with making me tired, or somebody that's going to try and frustrate me and then catch me when I'm frustrated. This is going to be, he's coming forward. I know I'll go forward. That's how I fight. I don't know any other way, and it's going to be a big clash, and I think that's going to be something we haven't seen in a while. If you look at my fight with JC Lambrecht, probably one of the most memorable fights of my career, that was exactly that. It was two young guns just going in there, and there wasn't a lot of skill involved. And if I look at that fight, I'm like, geez, look at what he did. I was an idiot. I made so many mistakes, but it's one of those fights where it just turns out to be the guy who wants it most is going to win that fight, and I think that's what this fight's going to be all about. And listen, if he thinks he's the one to beat me, I hope he's in for one hell of a night. I hope he's ready for that, because to beat me, it's not impossible. That's really ridiculous to think it's impossible to beat me. But it's not every man that has that ability, and it's not every man who has what it takes to take everything away from me that I've worked for so hard.
In your last fight in KSW, when I watch fighters, especially our local guys, I'm always looking to see how they come back and how they progress in their training and so on. And it seemed like you had just leveled up again. It was just a whole new Dricus Du Plessis. So with that in mind, that's passed and you've had time to come back and work on things you wanted to work on. So what do you think we'll see from the newer version of Dricus Du Plessis at EFC 82?
I think a big difference from my last fight and the one before that was the shift to middleweight made a massive difference. It was I'm feeling absolutely amazing. Being able to train to fight at middleweight as a welterweight always is tough, because I'm carrying that extra weight that I'm not used to training with. Now I'm training at a certain weight, and that's the same weight I get into the cage. At welterweight, I was weighing almost 8 kilograms more than I used to training for the whole fight game. So it's a much more natural me. I can get in there and I can perform. I don't even worry about a gas tank, because I know I put in the work. I don't have to worry about. I mean, that's really the only way you know if your weight cut really didn't went well. You see it in the fight. You feel it in the fight. This weight cut went bad. But I felt great in there. I felt relaxed. It wasn't the stress beforehand of making the weight wasn't there, and that was awesome. And I had 11 months layoff before that fight, and we worked on small things. We knew we had to make a change because the level of fighting worldwide just stepped up, and I knew I had to make a change. I knew people were starting to see a pattern in my game, and I was like, I have to fix this. I have to work on stuff that I know I'm weak at, and I have to the stuff that I'm really sharp at, let that take a back seat for now and work on that stuff, that small stuff, the small details that put you that 1% better. And that's at this level. It's not the big stuff that makes a change, it's that small adjustments that make the change. And in my last fight, I felt absolutely awesome. I felt great, and coming off a loss, especially in the same arena, and to avenge that loss there in London it meant everything to me. And now I'm fighting on home soil again, and it's almost the hero's journey of returning. I want to show the people like this, and I haven't been goofing around. I haven't been just out of it. Like, I want to remind everybody, because a lot of people forgot about what it's about and forgot what I did here. And now it's all about reminding them that this is still my cage and this is still my belt, and I still own the show here.
With that in mind, EFC 83, you said the hero's journey to return. One of the things we've learned here today at CIT is that there's this crop of youngsters that have been brought up by yourself as their coach, as well as the rest of your teammates on that card. So just tell us what that means to you, having all of these youngsters that you've brought up turning pro, some of them making their pro debuts, plus other teammates in front of your hometown.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. From the first day, like, you hope it works out that way. When we started talking about the card in December, we knew there was a big possibility that I'll be on the card. And we really wanted my brother on the main card as well, but unfortunately he can't fight. And we just said, listen, this whole year we've been working hard, the whole team, on creating something spectacular, and not letting guys just fight, but getting the guys ready to, when they fight, then they'll be able to fight often, because we have a whole skill set. Everything was developed. And it was basically all coming down to this night here in December at Times Square. And having, I think we have 6 guys, maybe 7 on the card, and 2 of them debutants. Guys that I trained from teenagers. Cammy was 14 when I started training him, and to see the way he's progressed, it's absolutely awesome. And you see, like, he started at the same age I did, and I started coaching him as a pro, and I know what that meant to me, to have a mentor like Michiel Opperman, Leon Maynard, those guys, my coach, to look up to and to follow in the footsteps and do even better things than they did as the game progresses. And without the role models they were to me, I wouldn't have been able to do what I've been doing. And it's so cool to see that I've played the same role in somebody's life. Like, Cameron is coming in and he's gonna be amazing. I know JT started with us. He didn't really look promising, to be honest, in the beginning, and he just started putting in the work, and he started tearing through the amateur ranks, and now he's training with the pros, and he's looking spectacular. And it's just so cool to see everybody coming through. And I mean, the guys, we have 5 guys fighting on the card that I used to coach when I was already a professional, and now they have 4 professional fights themselves. And it just shows you how the game progresses, how the second generation coaching comes in, and at the end of the day, now we're all training together. Like, I started coaching them from literally not knowing anything. Now I'm in the same class as them. Now they're training alongside me and not under me anymore. And it's so cool to see that that's possible. And that just shows so many people what is possible. I mean, if you look at me and you've never ever been involved in fighting, and you say, listen, I want to do what you do, and you say 4 years and I'm going to be training with this guy, it seems impossible. It seems like a long shot. And yeah, there's proof of 3-4 guys who's been doing exactly that.
The last question I want to ask is, what would your message be to Brendan Lazar?
The message to Brendan is simple. I think you deserve the shot. I think you 100% did what you have to do to get here. You've been the underdog and you're playing that underdog game. But I've been the favorite for a very long time, and I'm used to being the favorite. So being the underdog, feeling sorry for yourself, that's not going to affect me. I'm used to being the favorite, and I'll make that count.